What's up? Another episode of Mike and Nant. What a game that was between the Ravens and the Steelers. The playoffs are set. But before we get into that, I am your host, Expect the Ant. And I'm with my boy Mob Miz. What's good?
Same old, man. Game of the day. Just got finished watching that. Um, I didn't need the sponsor for this one, but I will shout them out anyways. For anybody that does need energy, if you fell asleep during that game, you need some help. But feel free to scan the QR code going over to W Energy, put in Mob Squad 508, get 10% off all your purchases. But oh boy, do we have a game. Jalen Ramsey blew it for the Steelers at the end, only for the Ravens to blow it at the end.
Yeah, he tried to go for the pick and he missed.
Missed. I mean, he missed time that badly. There was multiple things he could have did to stop that pass. He just did none of them. Involve it. First thing could have at least hit the receiver's arms.
Yeah, hit him in the back. Maybe he would drop it.
Hit his
He
arms in that position. It's highly unlikely he comes down with that ball.
he could have did something, but he tried to go for the pick. He missed time to jump. He just whiffed completely.
Yeah. Luckily, they still found a way to walk away with the win.
Well, after the game, they showed there was a priest on the field, and he was sprinkling that end zone with holy water. That just happened to be the end zone where the kid missed the kick.
Yeah, well, hey, there was a whole bunch of things that had to happen for them to win that. I mean, I feel like both defenses was trying to lose that game.
Most definitely, it was a defensive battle in the first half. I thought it was gonna be one of those like 10-6 or 10-3 games, but then the second half, the offenses picked it up, and like you said, the defenses on both sides tried so hard to lose that game.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Steelers almost pulled a Campbell and showed why you always take the points because had they just took that field goal before halftime, it might not have been this pivotal at the end of it what they was going through ripping the hair out.
Nah, because that means Baltimore would have needed a touchdown to win, not a field goal.
Yep,
That might even been better for Baltimore because they probably would have won if that was the case.
true. The way that the Steelers defense was blowing coverages at the end of that game, Zay Flowers looked like he was Jamar Chase today in
Yeah.
the second half.
Well, let me go over the stats real quick. For the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 11 to 18 for 238 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Well, he threw the ball 18 times, but he did have over 238. And then Derrick Henry led the team in rushing with 20 carries, 126 yards. As Mike mentioned, Zay Flowers only 4 catches, but he did have a buck 38 and 2 touchdowns. And then for the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, 31 of 47, 294 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. You throw the ball 47 times, you should throw it for more than 294. But they still got the win. Also, Jalen Warren was the team's leading rusher. He had 14 carries for 66 yards. And then their leading receiver was their backup running back, Kenneth Gainwell, 8 catches for 64 yards. But the Steelers, they found a way to win it 26-24. Um, Chris Boswell almost blew it, missed his first extra point in 3 years. But unfortunately for the Ravens, the rookie, he missed the kick. And hopefully it doesn't affect his confidence moving forward. But man, he's gotta deal with that all off season. Tyler Loop is his name. He's
Yeah.
had to deal with that all off season. So you feel bad for the kid. But the Steelers won the AFC North and all that for them to be one and done, I think.
We'll get to this playoff bracket in a second. Let's get through these meaningless games so we can get into this playoff scenario behind us.
All right, but yeah, anything more you want to add to that game between the Steelers and the Ravens?
Nah, man. I mean, salute to Aaron Rodgers. He got it done in all the big moments in the game he needed to get it done. So didn't Lamar Jackson. This was a typical reason of why you need defense in the NFL because both defenses tried their best to fill these teams. It was like which defense was gonna lose, and it just happened to be the Ravens that gave up the score at the end that cost them the game.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers back in the playoffs for the first time since 2021. The
Yeah,
Steelers hope to get their first playoff win in 10 years.
we'll see how it goes.
But we'll start off with Saturday's games. And the battle for the NFC South, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers. Um, this was a controversial game because a lot of people feel like the refs screwed over the Panthers. A lot of controversial calls. It's almost like the refs wanted Tampa to win, but I'll get to that in a minute. It didn't work out for Tampa, but Tampa did get the win. They beat Carolina 16-14. Bryce Young completed 24-35 passes, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Chuba Hubbard led the team in rushing with 5 carries for 10 yards. Excuse me, Chuba Hubbard had 5 carries for 10 yards. Rico Dow had 7 carries for 10 yards. So they couldn't run the ball at all against Tampa's defense. And then T Mac led the team in receiving with 4 catches, 85 yards. On Tampa's side, Baker Mayfield cleared 16-22, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Bucky Irvin was their leading rusher with 26 carries, 85 yards. Cade Otton was their leading receiver with 7 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown. So like I said, Tampa Bay got the win. It was a controversial win. A lot of controversial calls that went against Carolina that really killed the momentum in key spots too. And it was funny because during the game, the broadcast, Dan Orlovsky was arguing with the game ref over a lot of these calls because the rules analyst was like siding with the refs, and then Dan Orlovsky was calling it out like it's solid. Like, this be some BS calls here. But
Yeah.
Tampa got the win. So, what was your thoughts on yesterday's game between the Bucks and the Panthers?
I mean, I've seen some of the calls that these people was complaining about, but at the same time, I think Carolina had their chances. Tampa didn't look good, so I feel like they definitely had their chances to win the game. All in out, I didn't really think it mattered, and we'll get into that later. But I think Tampa deserved to win the game. I think they made enough plays when it mattered. Couple of those calls could be questionable, but we've been dealing with this all season. I don't want to stick on the referees. The NFL know they need to fix this. It's more on the teams to make sure they close out these games so they don't put it in the hands of the referees.
Exactly. All right, and then the second game was probably the most important game of the weekend, and that was the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This game was determined not only the the NFC West, but also to the number one seed in the NFC. And Seattle dominated this game 13-3. Their defense just took over. San Francisco just couldn't do anything at all. They couldn't get anything going. They had a chance to kind of make it a game, but Christian McCaffrey bobbled the ball. The Seattle defenders at the right place at the right time ended up being a pick. But it was just a dominant performance by the Seattle defense. Before I give you my thoughts on the game, real quickly on the stats, Sam Darnold completed 20 of 26 passes, 198 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Kenneth Walker the third was their leading rusher with 16 carries and 97 yards. Zach Charbonnet added 17 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. He tied Marshawn Lynch's franchise record for most rushing touchdowns in the season for the in Seattle Seahawks history. And receiving wise, Jackson Smith the Najigba was the leading receiver with 6 catches for 84 yards. Over for the Niners, Brock Purdy, 19 of 27, 127 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Christian McCaffrey was their leading rusher, 8 carries for 23 yards. Again, they could not run the football. And then Juwan Jennings was their leading receiver with 4 catches for 35 yards. So again, it was a great performance by the Seattle defense. They really dominated this game, but I have no confidence in Seattle moving forward. I did say a couple days ago when we did our preview that history shows that when Seattle gets the number one seed, they make it to the Super Bowl. They did it in '05, they did it in 13, they did it in 14. But I don't have confidence in this Seattle team, and I think it's because Sam Darnold's holding them back. Even last night, he made a couple plays that he got lucky. Basically, he even
Yeah.
threw an interception late in the game. Luckily for him, the DB couldn't keep both feet in bounds. But I think Sam Darnold's going to be the reason why. Seattle either is one and done or he's going to cost them in one of these games, whether it's the NFC Championship or if they get lucky enough to get to the Super Bowl, he might cost them there. But I just don't. I think Sam Darnold's going to be the reason why the Seattle team does not win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. It's hard for me to disagree with anything you just said. I was impressed with their defense, and I was more disappointed in San Francisco as an offense in that game. I think that I mean, obviously that home field advantage wasn't much. Might as well just left it to them if that's what they planned on doing.
Well, I mean, home field advantage doesn't mean anything if you can't move the ball. They couldn't move the ball in that Seattle defense.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, there's a few other teams that have had no problem moving the ball up and down the field on that defense, but good game for Seattle, and they locked in the number one seed. They earned the number one seed the past 3 4 weeks. They definitely deserve it, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. They can't be one and done because they get a pass. So
No, they could be one and done. They could lose in the second round.
they could be one and done, but they get the pass.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you get what I'm saying. So we'll see how it goes for them, but good for them, man.
yeah, and then we'll later on once we talk about the playoffs, we can talk about their potential matchups. But I just they have a defense. If the defense play like they played last night, it's gonna be hard to beat this team.
Yeah,
But still, Sam Darnold, I just don't have faith in him.
same Donald.
And again, he leads the league in turnovers. That's not really a recipe for winning Super Bowls.
Yep, that's his Achilles heel.
All right, and then the next game, which is the Sunday game, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Houston won this game 38-30. This was a huge game for Houston. They started off the day with if they win this game and Jacksonville loses, they could win the AFC South. Obviously, that didn't happen, but they did get the win. They clinched the fifth seed. Here's the stats. Riley Leonard completed 21 of 34 passes, 270 yards, two touchdowns, one pick. DJ Giddens was their leading rusher, 8 carries for 30 yards. And then Alec Pierce was their leading receiver, 4 catches for 132 and two touchdowns. For Houston, CJ Stroud, 14 of 23 for 169 yards and a touchdown. Then he sat out, I think, the fourth quarter. And then Davis Mills went 3 for 9, 36 yards, no touchdowns, one pick. British Brooks was their leading rusher with 13 carries, 63 yards. Xavier Hutchinson was their leading receiver, 5 catches, 84 yards. Good win for Houston. Indianapolis to end the season on a 7 game losing streak. It's hard to believe that 2 months ago this team was 8-2, the number one seed in the AFC. Now they're gonna miss the playoffs. And I said this off air, I'll repeat it here. But Riley Leonard, the rookie, he looked pretty good. And I don't understand why they just didn't play him. Obviously, they're done with Anthony Richardson, but I don't understand why they didn't play the rookie instead of getting Phillip Rivers out of retirement. But yeah, any thoughts on this game?
No doubt. Move on. All day.
All right, and then we have the New York Giants, 34 beat the Dallas Cowboys 34-17. Joe Milton, 7 of 13, 73 yards, no pick, no touchdowns, one pick. Dak Prescott played in the first half, 7 of 11, 70 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Jaden Blue was their leading rusher with 16 carries, 64 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Fournette, I think I said that right, was their leading receiver, 5 catches, 68 yards. Jackson Dart completed 22 of 32 passes for 230 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions. Once again, a quarterback had their best game of the season against the Dallas Cowboys defense. That was Jackson Dart today. Tyrone Tracy was their leading rusher with 18 carries, 103 yards. And then Gunnar Osipski, I think that's how you say his name. He's a former Patriot. But he had 8 catches, 102 yards to lead the team in receiving. And huge win for the Giants to end the season on a 2 game winning streak. This 2 game winning streak, they went from having the number one pick 2 weeks ago to now they're the seventh. They're picking seventh. But for the Giants, I'll say this: they have a bright future, and for them, it's all about who they hire as the coach. They got to get the coaching search right. The rumor is they're looking at either Chris Shula, the Rams DC, or Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski is an offensive guy, so maybe he can that'd be better for Jackson Dart. But then also too, if you hire Chris Shula with the players they have on that defense, especially that front seven, the Giants they could be that defense could dominate for sure. So I don't know who they'll pick as coach, but they have a bright future. And then for the Cowboys, they got the number one offense, but they have the 32nd defense. So Matt Eberflus, who's their DC, he can't coach. He can't be a head coach. He's not a good defensive corner either. So they need to fix that. And then Jackson Dart, do you have him as your offensive rookie of the year, or are you going with Tyler Shook?
I ain't going with neither one of them. But I got no words for these scrub teams right now. Let's get past these bums.
All
Neither
right.
one of them guys is offensive player of the year because you got Ted McMillan. I think went for 1,000, right? You got Ashton Genty who went for over 1,000.
Well, the betting favorites those two because it's always about the quarterback.
I
That's
know, and neither one of them had good seasons, so it make no sense to me. Like there's two wide receivers, a running back, definitely a tight end. I would put all four of those guys above them, which is Tyler Warren. I would put Ted McMillan. I would still put Abuka, even though he fell off a cliff the last 5 weeks.
just
Um,
like the team did.
yeah, and I exactly, and I would put Ashton Genty. All these guys have came out and played at the top of their position. That all, so those are the guys that you give that shit to.
Well, last thing before we move on, though, I will say that both quarterbacks have looked better than Cam Ward this season.
They have, but I have a problem with it because you've already designated the MVP for a quarterback. Don't start this shit with the offensive player of the
Yeah, I much
year.
award it is.
Yep, go look at their numbers and say, all right, you was a top 25 quarterback in the NFL out of 32 guys. I'm gonna give you the offensive play. No, neither one of these guys, none of those guys are offensive player of the year. They barely made it through the year.
You
So
mean off?
yeah, like there's some guys that got drafted the fifth round that I might give it to over them. They made the whole year, they started the whole year.
Yeah,
Like,
these
get out.
these two didn't even start the season.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like you didn't win many games, you didn't do nothing all worldly. I get it. You showed me enough to say you're capable in the NFL to go forward. But offensive player of the year, Genty got 10 plus touchdowns and like 1,100 yards on the Raiders. That's a lot more impressive than what you did.
Yeah. All right, then the Battle of Ohio, we have the Cleveland Browns. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 20-18. Shador Sanders was okay. He was 11 for 22, 111 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, just 50% completion. Dylan Sampson, 10 carries, 32 yards. Cedric Tillman was their leading receiver. He only had one catch for 23 yards. For Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, 29 for 39, 236 yards, three touchdowns. He did have one pick. Chase Brown, 13 carries for 72 yards, was the leading rusher. Jamar Chase was the leading receiver with eight catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. And Cleveland got the win. The story of this game, though, was Myles Garrett did get the sack record finally, so good to him. Even though he pissed off wasn't really him, the referees pissed off the Bengals because the Bengals they were trying to go no huddle up tempo, and all of a sudden the referee stopped the game so Myles Garrett can have his moment, and that really pissed off the Bengals. But then once again, the Bengals defense after the Bengals scored what we thought was going to be the game-winning touchdown, the Bengals our defense did the Bengals defense and led the Browns march down the field and kick the game-winning field goal. Um, and then right now, Kevin Stefanski, he he either quit or he'll get fired. And then there's rumors that Zach Taylor may or may not get fired. We'll see what happens in the coming days. But for the Bengals offensively, which is Zach Taylor's forte, they're one of the best in the league. They got to figure out that defense.
And the Bengals, man, they're like limbo now. They're like one leg out from rebuilding and one leg in from being a Super Bowl team. I think they got to figure out that defense for sure.
Well, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase had a message for the owner, which is like, shit, that's the change.
Yeah,
So we'll see
and
what's
they
going
also
on.
said they don't want Taylor to leave, but I'll tell you one thing for sure, might even more important than their defense. They need to get an offensive line together for Joe Burrow. He's not gonna last much longer. So they're not gonna be worrying about a defense if he goes out for another whole season.
Yeah, but them not developing an offensive line, we've been saying that for like the last 5 years. Is that on Zach Taylor or is that on the GM?
I mean, if you bottom line is hire a offensive line coach that's good. Like start somewhere, because obviously what you've done and what you're doing isn't working. So I mean, if you could bring in a good offensive line coach, use one of these high picks you got on, at least the anchor for your line, and figure it out from there. But it's like you're spending money everywhere besides the people that gotta protect him. Like you're looking for journeymen and stuff. It's like, bro, you got a top five quarterback. You got to invest money in that line. Like you have to.
And I think they need to find a running back too. Look, I don't think Chase Brown's a 3 down back that you can rely on.
He's been looking pretty good, but I think he is more of like you want to have a bigger guy with him. You want to have that like a two
More of a
headed.
change of pace back.
Yeah, you want to have a two-headed monster. But both of these teams are gonna have a lot of figuring out to do in the off season.
But for Cleveland, it's all about Deshaun Watson, what they do with him. But before I move on for Cincinnati, do you think they should keep Zach Taylor or fire him?
I would keep him. You need to get a defensive coordinator. Your offense isn't the problem, and you need O line help. So it's your O line and your defense. He's not a specialist at that. What he's good at, you're good at.
Yeah, with
So
the defense.
yeah. So where you want an offense with that, especially with those guys, he's the perfect match for them. But you need more. You need guys to protect him, because I know a lot of his throws you want to get down the field. That's why Burrow's getting hit because a lot of these are longer developing plays. You feel me? So that's part of it. Second part is you have no goddamn defense.
Yeah, your defense this year was 31st. Last
Wow,
year was 32nd, so I guess that's an improvement,
huge
but
upgrade.
still not good.
Plus one,
Yeah, that's it. At this rate, they'll be 30th next year.
maybe 29. Aiming too high. Aiming too high.
That might be too high. Let's go at 31st. All right, then we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints. Atlanta won this game 19-17. So because Atlanta won this game, that means Carolina wins the division. As we talked about during our Week 18 preview show, the way it was set up is that all three teams they finished 8-9. So there's a three-way tie, and in that situation, the tiebreaker went to Carolina because Carolina swept Atlanta during the regular season, while Tampa Bay and Atlanta split their 2 games.
Yeah,
So
just
because
got
Carolina
confused.
got the sweep, yeah, that's why they won the division. That's why they're going to the playoffs. Well, Tampa Bay, even though they won yesterday, it doesn't really matter because Atlanta won today. And then Raheem Morris, despite ending the season on a 5-game winning streak, got fired after the game.
Yeah, out of here. Yeah,
And
fine.
yeah, Arthur Bray pulled a Vince McMahon. He's like, "You're fired."
You ain't
Like,
gotta go on, Raheem. But man, Arthur Blanc said you gotta get the up out of here, man.
well, and I've been saying it all season. Like Raheem, he might be one of those coaches. He might be a good coordinator. I don't know if he's a good head coach.
Yeah,
That team has way too much talent um, for them to be under 500.
to deal with injuries throughout the season.
Yeah, but I mean, even before the injuries, they were like up and down.
Yeah,
In a lot of ways, they're kind of like Carolina, and we'll talk about Carolina later. But they're just one of those teams where they'll beat a good team one week, and then the next week they'll lose to a bad team.
that whole division's like that.
Yeah, and it's just up and down. But then also too, the GM got fired, and I wasn't surprised too because if I'm the owner, I'm asking you, why did you give Kirk Cousins 100 million fully guaranteed contract, and then 2 weeks later you take a quarterback in the first round, and then 6 months later our backup, I'm paying our backup starter money.
Yeah,
Like it makes no sense. And
for
then the
sure.
quarterback that you invested a first round pick on, he's now had his third ACL tear on the same knee. He tore that ACL twice in college. Now he just tore it again this year, the same knee. So we don't even know if Michael Pink's even going to be the same after that.
Yeah,
So there's
agree,
a lot of questions there for the Falcons.
agree.
But quickly for the stats, Tyler Shuck, 23 or 35, 259 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Uh, I think it's Audric Estamine. He was their leading rusher with 21 carries, 63 yards. Juwan Johnson was the leading receiver, 3 catches, 61 yards. Kirk Cousins, 18 or 32, 180 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Bijan Robinson was their leading rusher with 15 carries, 33 yards. Drake London was their leading receiver, 4 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins says he wants to go somewhere he could be a starter. And the way he's played, even though they've been winning, it's not because of Kirk Cousins. Even today's numbers are pedestrian, but he's gonna have a hard time finding a starting role because he looks washed at this point.
Yeah,
But yeah, anything you want to add to this game?
nope. I'm ready. Like I said, I'm trying to skim through these irrelevant teams.
Yeah, all right. We'll skim through this next one because not much to talk about other than the gambling part. So, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers 16-3. Uh, Clayton Tune, the QB3, they didn't even trust him. He only attempted six. He completed 6 of 11 passes for 34 yards.
Balling.
Chris Brooks was their leading rusher. He had 13 carries for 61 yards. This is how you know Green Bay didn't even give a fuck about this game. They had their third string running back, third string quarterback. They had their leading receiver was a guy I've never heard of, Jacoby Kenny James, 2
Balling.
for 52 yards. They had like a Green Bay treated this like a preseason game.
Yeah, they pulled up. They pulled up with the bus of the players for the
Yeah.
practice squad. Said, "Y'all got this. Throw on any jersey. It doesn't matter the name."
Yeah, it don't matter the name, don't matter the number. Like, yeah, guys on the team. I didn't even know was on the team. For Minnesota, JJ McCarthy, 14 and 23, 182 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, but he did get hurt again. Max Brosmer had to come in. He quit 7 and 8, 57 yards. Jordan Mason was their leading rusher, 14 carries for 94 yards. Justin Jefferson was their leading receiver for 8 catches, 101. Now, the controversy in this game is that the point spread was Minnesota by 13 and a half. Minnesota was up 16 nothing. And with 1 second left, Green Bay decides to kick a field goal to make it 16-3 so they could cover the spread. So a lot of people are pissed off about that.
Vegas, we love you, Vegas. Yes, yes.
Matt LaFleur
Take
probably
our,
had money on
take
that
our
game.
money. Take our money, Vegas,
And Matt
please.
LaFleur probably had money on that game because with 1 second left, most teams are just taking a knee. He's like,
Yeah.
nah, just kick
Nah,
this
they
field
they're
goal,
gonna tell you it was
cover
for
the
pride.
spread.
They didn't get shut out. They're gonna tell you it was for pride. They just didn't want to get shut out, bro. Oh man.
Green Bay was able to cover.
Damn you. Yo, man, and yo, all I'm saying is JJ's war paint isn't working. You
Nah,
might
he
need to
got
try
he
maybe a
got
different
something
color.
else.
You gotta try purple maybe instead of the black, cause that black shit on his face is not doing him no justice.
Yeah,
If
all he
that's
does
war
is keep
paint,
getting
bro,
hurt.
how that's war paint and you get banged, you man, you used to get clothesline left and right, bro. That war paint is not helping.
He can't even play 2 games back to back.
Bro, listen, man, he needs to change up the color of that war paint. Maybe red. It does. Listen,
Um,
purple, try yellow.
yeah, or either that, they gotta go with the offense he ran in college where they run the ball 50 times a game, and you only have to throw the ball like 8.
Well, if they want to offer us 2 first-round picks for Blake Corum, I mean, we can assist you with your guy. Send it back to you, the guy that did all
Yeah,
the work for you.
yeah, yeah, the college teammates, his
He
boy,
did all the work. We can send him there for 2 first.
and it's the same offense. He knows the offense already.
Yeah, he'll probably tell you no, 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 no. I like what's going on here. I don't want to take 45 carries a game.
Alright, and then we can split carries with Jordan Mason, but we have the Jacksonville Jaguars that beat the Tennessee Titans 41-7. This game was over at halftime. It was 31-7 at the half.
Beat the brakes off them.
Yeah, and I kind of predicted. I said this would be like the game where the Jags play the Jets. They'll try to close this out thing early, and then that's exactly what they did. So I knew they were going to try everything in their power to win this division. So the end plus the Jags, they win 13 games for the first time since 1999.
Salute to Duval.
Yeah. Brandon Allen, he had completed 17 of 30 passes for 72 yards, no touchdowns, one interception. Cam Ward, before he got hurt, was 3 for 3, 52 yards.
And ran a touchdown.
Yeah, and then Tony Pollard, he did rush for a touchdown. I think that's where he got hurt. And
Yeah.
then Tony Pollard was their leading rusher with 14 carries, 48 yards. Elick, uh, Elick Eman, I don't even know how to say his last name, but
A lot practice squad, remember?
yeah, Ala Pascal, 3 catches, 50 yards. He's their leading receiver. For the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, 22 of 30, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Nick Mullins, who I didn't even know who was still in the league, he came in, he completed 2 for 2 for 16 yards. Travis Etienne was
All in.
was their leading rusher with 14 carries, 32 yards. Parker Washington was their leading receiver with 5 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. And not only did Jacksonville win the division after the game, the Jags players gave Trevor Lawrence a grill.
Cooking.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they showed it off.
That's fine.
So Jags won the game 41-7. They clinched the AFC South and the number 3 seed.
That's dope. That's what it is, man. I like what Jacksonville did this year. And that Parker Washington kid, I can't say enough good stuff about him. He's gonna be real good.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll talk about it later, but the AFC is wide open.
Jaguars are definitely in contention to go to the Super Bowl for sure.
Exactly. All right, and then we have the LA Rams. They beat the Arizona Cardinals 37-20. Excuse me. So with the win, the Rams will move up from 6-5. The Niners will drop from 5-6. And then for the Arizona Cardinals, after there's rumors that head coach Jonathan Gannon, excuse me, might get fired after this game. He hasn't been fired yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Jacoby Brissett was 22 of 31 for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Matthew Stafford, 25 for 40, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Amari D. Mercado was their leading rusher, only 2 carries for 29 yards. Uh, Kyron Williams was the Rams' leading rusher for 12 carries, 60 yards. And then Michael Wilson was the leading receiver for the Cardinals, 5 catches, 99 yards, a touchdown. And it was the return of Tyler Higbee. He was their leading receiver, 5 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Puka did have 10 catches, but Higbee led the team with yards.
Yeah.
And so for the Rams, they move on. They get their revenge. They try to get the revenge next week against Carolina. For Arizona, they're finish the season 3-14. And question is, should they fire their coach or should they keep him for one more year?
I think they let him stay and they let him draft his own quarterback because he was thrust into the Kyler situation. He didn't get to pick him. So I think that they allow them to try to get their quarterback and see what they could do next year. But
Yeah.
Kyler's definitely gone. But
Oh, yeah,
this
Kyler's
game,
definitely gone. But the only question I have the only question I have though is that coach has been there for 3 years now. I don't understand why they didn't try to do this earlier by trying to give him his own, like, have him pick his own quarterback.
and that's why I think that if he stays, that might have been like an upstairs decision that wanted to try it with Kyler, and
Mhm.
they wanted him on board with that. Similar to how McVay was when he first got there, and he was on board with golf till he wasn't. You know, so just and obviously you can have the same success. That's a little, but I think they'll probably let him stay. I'd be surprised if they fire him. As far as the Rams, I think Matthew Stafford just closed the MVP deal. I think he definitely gets the MVP. I think this worked out. I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better for the Rams. We'll talk about the playoffs more, but winning this game was important. And they're also they got a lot of guys coming back that haven't been playing. I think the I hear one note, but during the Rams losses the past few weeks and stuff, I don't think people realized they was missing a few old linemen, haven't had their starting tight end basically all year. Um, eh, Devontae Adams has, I think that's probably been a choice to sit him. Um, eh, they just been missing a lot of pieces. They also been missing some defensive pieces. But one thing this game did show, as much as some, you know, Rams content creators and Rams fans want to try to say, we don't have a number one cornerback. I mean, Wilson took his chance cooking, took his basically took turns cooking every single one of the cornerbacks the Rams have on their defense. And one of them, Akello did sneak up and get the interception, but really he was cooked on that play too. So it's like, listen, I know that maybe this year, because it just doesn't look strong, the Rams probably can get through with this. But if the Rams don't get a number one cornerback in there, I'm gonna end up throwing something through a wall. Like, because we don't have a guy. We don't have a guy that could lock up with any top receiver, let alone sometimes their third best wide receivers cooking.
Yeah, I agree, but we'll talk about that later. As far as Matthew Stafford, the MVP, I hope he wins it. I think he should win it. But the only thing that's working against him is that he's the 5 seed. History shows that the MVP normally goes to anybody who's the 1 or 2 seed. So we'll see if they buck that trend this year and give it to him.
Yeah,
Okay, and then we're moving on to the other LA team. We have the Denver Broncos that beat the LA Chargers 19-3. Not much to talk about here. Trey Lance was asked 20 of 44, 136 yards, no touchdowns, one pick.
he proved he should be in the NFL.
Yeah, well, he was their leading rusher, 9 carries for 69 yards. Keenan Allen was the only starter that played for the Chargers, and that's because they were trying to get him his incentives. So he had 7 catches for 36 yards. Once he got enough yards to get his incentives, they took him out of the game. And then for the Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, 14 of 23, 141 yards. Bo Nix was also their leading rusher for 8 carries, 49 yards. Ingram was their leading receiver, 3 catches for 45 yards. And to the Denver Broncos, they get the win. They clinch the number 1 seed. I'll say the same thing about the Broncos that I said earlier about the Seahawks. Defensively, they have the talent to go to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. But I think they might be one and done also only because that offense is terrible. It's been terrible all season. They struggled against the Chargers backups today.
I hear you. Their
I
offense
think
hasn't looked good in a few
team
weeks.
that's gonna make a run and go to the Super Bowl.
I'd agree. I'd agree. Their defense, though, if they can, I mean, obviously this ain't isn't starters, but their defense may be able to hold teams low enough for them to get the amount of points they need to beat a few of these teams. But it's not going to work on some of these teams. So the Broncos are going to need to score if the Broncos are going to need to score if they want a chance to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't. They're in the. I don't think in the playoffs they're gonna be. They can't beat. They can't win every game. 10-7 or 17-14
Yep,
or 16-3. Like you gotta be able to score at least 25, 28. There
yep,
might be some games you might even score 35, depending on how hot the other offense is.
I
Because if
agree.
your defense has a bad game like they did against the Giants, where they gave up, I think, like 36, can you offensively, outscore the other team and win a shootout?
And
I don't know if they can.
the answer is probably no.
Yeah, that's why I said like I
Like,
don't see
here's the thing: if the Patriots drop 31 on them in the playoffs, you confident the Broncos can score 31 points?
no.
And that's where right now I might be leaning towards my favor in the AFC. Might have just gave it away. But I think that is going to be the Broncos' problem. There's going to be teams that are not going to stop from scoring and they're going to need to score. And I just don't know if they can. I'm probably banking they can't score with some of these teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I just right from what I've seen this season, I don't see it. And I know they're both the number 1 seeds, but I just don't see a Denver Seattle Super Bowl happening.
I agree.
All right, and then another game that we don't have to spend too much time on. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs 14-12. This game meant nothing. The Raiders have the number 1 pick. They earned that last week. As far as for the Chiefs, they end the season on a 6-game losing streak. Um, and yeah, the Chiefs, they're just bad. Um,
Yeah,
Shane Buchler or whatever you say his name, 7 to 14, 88 yards. Chris Oladokun at 11 for 17, with 11 to 17 passing, 58 yards. Bashar Smith was their leading rusher with 12 carries, 56 yards. Hollywood Brown was their leading receiver, 3 catch, 64 yards. For the Raiders, Aiden O'Connell, 10 to 22 for 102 yards. Kenny Pickett got knocked out of this game, only 1 for 4 for 3 yards, 1 interception. Ashton Jeanty was the leading rusher with 26 carries, 87 yards. And Michael Mayer was the leading receiver with 3 catches, 47 yards. And the story out of this game is again, Pete Carroll is expected to be fired either tonight or tomorrow. And the rumor is that Tom Brady wants them to hire Brian Flores. Obviously, Brian Flores and Tom Brady have the New England connection, as Flores was the DC in New England during Tom Brady's later years in New England. The only thing I would say, if they do go the Brian Flores route, they got to hire a good offensive coordinator. If you're going to draft Fernando Mendoza, you need somebody who could develop Fernando Mendoza. Brian Flores, he showed with Tua that he can't develop a quarterback. So they
yeah,
need somebody. They need a good ass offensive coordinator to develop Mendoza if they're going to go with the Brian Flores route.
yeah. I think that's not a match made in heaven. But you could go to the next game. I think that I just say I think that'd be a bad decision,
To go with the Brian Flores,
especially if that's the quarterback you're taking.
yeah. If you're going to go with Flores, I think you need a veteran, not a rookie.
Yeah,
All right, next up, we have the New England Patriots. They beat the Miami Dolphins 38-10. Quinn Ewers, 6 to 23 for 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. His 1 interception actually flipped the momentum of the game. Zach Wilson, I had no idea he was on the Dolphins, but he was 0 for 2. And then Jalen Wright was their leading rusher, 13 carries, 23 yards. Theo Weiss Jr. was their leading receiver, 3 catches for 44 yards. For New England, Drake made 14 to 18, 191 yards, a touchdown. And then Josh Dobbs, the backup, came in 3 for 4, 23 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Ramondre Stevenson was the leading rusher, 7 carries for 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Hunter Henry was their leading receiver, 5 catches for 56 yards. New England got the win. They clinched the 2 seed, and I have more confidence in them than I do with the Denver Broncos. As for Miami, they say that they're going to keep Mike McDaniel. So now this is Mike McDaniel's chance to get his own quarterback. I don't think Quinn Ewers, even though he's only a rookie, but I don't think he's the QB of the future. And obviously, Mike McDaniel is done with Tua. That's why he benched him.
yeah. I agree. Totally agree. Dolphins got to rethink everything, starting from quarterback, coach. I think the coach might survive somehow. Not sure how that's even possible, but um,
Well, they did go on a 5-game winning streak, which kind of saved their season at one point. They did let some teams
it's
down.
almost like you're falling for the same shit again.
Yeah.
Like, so good luck. They won't be any better next year, no matter who they get. But I don't have much to say about this game. The Pats handled business, benched their starters. It is what it is.
All right. Then we have the Washington Commanders. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-17. Josh Johnson, 14-22, 131 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Tanner McKee for the Eagles, 21 of 40, 241, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Chris Rodriguez led the Commanders in rushing, 16 carries, 65 yards and a touchdown. Bigsby, excuse me, was the leading rusher for the Eagles, 16 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown. Terry McLaurin was their leading receiver for the Commanders, 4 catches, 57 yards. Devontae Smith was the leading receiver for the Eagles, 3 catches for 52 yards. Not much to say. The Eagles didn't take this game seriously, with the exception of Devontae Smith. They played all backups in this game.
Yeah,
So the Commanders got the win. The Eagles, they're the 3 seed. They knew they couldn't really move up, really nothing to play for. So I mean, it is what it is. If there's anything you want to add to this game, or I can just move on.
I got nothing.
All right, so I'll move on. We got the Detroit Lions. They beat the Chicago Bears 19-16. The Bears surprisingly played their starters in this game, so I got to give it up to the Lions. They, even though they had nothing to play for, they got the win. They hit the Jake Bates hit the field goal at the last second to get the win for the Lions. Jared Goff 27-42 for 331 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Even though he did throw the interception, but he did throw for 331 for a guy that can't play in cold weather. He put a good stat line today. And Jameer Gibbs, 19 carries, 80 yards was their leading rusher, and their leading receiver was Amon St. Brown, 11 catches, 139 yards. For for Chicago, Caleb Williams completed 20 of 33 passes for 212 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. DeAndre Swift was their leading rusher, 10 carries, 40 yards. The leading receiver was Colston Loveland. He had 10 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. Again, Chicago, I'm surprised they played their starters because they really had nothing to play for. They're the number two seed, regardless. But a big credit to the Lions. They had nothing to play for, but they still found a way to get this win. Most teams could have just gave up, but they didn't. And if I'm the if I'm the Bears, you played your starters and you still lost. So I don't know if you just take it up because they're division rivals, or this should be something to be concerning for if you're the Bears fan.
I think you just chalk it up. It's a bad way to go into the playoffs, but they know the Lions are a better team than what they played this year, what they look like this year, I should say. So I don't think it's much to worry about. Be happy you don't got to see them in the postseason.
Yeah. All right, and then we have the Buffalo Bills. They beat the New York Jets 35-8. Um Brady Cook was the Jets Brady Cook completed 11 to 22 passes for 60 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. He was terrible. Khalil Herbert was their leading rusher with 12 carries, 42 yards. Isaiah Williams was their leading receiver, five catches for 24 yards. For the Buffalo Bills, Mitchell Trubisky completed 22 of 29 passes for 259 yards, four touchdowns, no picks. Ray Davis was the leading rusher with 21 carries, 151 yards. Keon Coleman finally played after they kept benching him for missing team meetings, but he was their leading receiver with two catches, 49 yards. For the Bills, they took care of business. They're now the number six seed in the AFC. The storyline in this game, though, the New York Jets become the first defense in NFL history to not record a single interception the whole year. And there's rumors that Aaron Glenn may or may not get fired.
He should get fired. But what a record to hold. What a record to hold. But
Yeah, and you're a defensive guy.
facts. But I don't got a damn thing to say about this game. I don't even know why they went out and played this game today. It was so meaningless. But I'm ready to pick these.
Even played in this game.
I'm ready to pick these postseason games. Let's get to that.
All right, so let me pull up. Here we go. So in the NFC, we have the LA Rams. They're the five seed. They'll take on the Carolina Panthers, the four seed. Then we have the six seeded San Francisco 49ers at the number three seed, Philadelphia Eagles. We have the number seven seed Green Bay Packers versus the number two seed Chicago Bears. The Seattle Seahawks are the number one seed. They have a first round bye. Over on the AFC, we have the Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Excuse me. And we have the LA Chargers versus the New England Patriots. And I'll say this quickly. It wouldn't surprise me if all six road teams win next week. I don't think it would happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if it would. I think it's so wide open. You can make a case for really. I think the Rams could beat the Panthers. I think the Niners could beat the Eagles. I think the Packers could beat the Bears. Over on the AFC, I think Houston could beat Pittsburgh. Actually, I think they will beat Pittsburgh. It wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo beats Jacksonville, even though right now I'm leaning towards Jacksonville. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Chargers beat the Patriots. Even though the Patriots should beat the Chargers, but I think the Chargers being the veteran team, the Patriots being an inexperienced team that could play a factor. Same thing with Buffalo, Jacksonville. Buffalo having experience, Jacksonville being inexperienced, that could play a factor. And I will say, I think the Bills and the Chargers are facing the most pressure. The Bills, obviously, your kryptonite for the last 5 years has been Kansas City and Cincinnati. Neither team is in the playoffs, so there's really no excuse. And then for the Chargers, Justin Herbert, as great as he is, and every GM every year when they ask the question, which quarterback would you start your team with? They all say Justin Herbert. But the knock on him is he hasn't showed up in the playoffs. So for him, again, a lot of these teams they're young, they're inexperienced. There's really no excuse for Justin Herbert and the Chargers this year either. But what's your take on the playoffs?
Man, I think you covered everything. I picked these games, boy. Let's pick them. Stop running from it.
You want to pick them now? You want to wait till next week? Or
Let's pick them right now.
all right, so we have
We could do it. We could do another video and like deep dive into more, but this would be like the short version. I've been trying to pick these picks before I knew which teams was playing who. I was about to start picking. So let's get to this. I'm hungry right now.
all right, so we'll start with the NFC. LA at Carolina.
We got the same pick there. We know who it is. We ain't going spreads. We're at later in the week. We'll pull up the spreads and we'll do a video just with the picks.
All
But
right.
this is no spreads. I got the Rams easily.
All right, then San Francisco at Philly.
So you got the Rams too, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just making sure. All right,
Now I got Carolina. I changed my mind.
San Francisco and Philly. Um, if you would have asked me this a week ago, I would have said San Francisco. After watching that bullshit they just put on the field on their home field against Seattle this week, I'm gonna take Philly.
Well, Brock Purdy is questionable. He hurt his shoulder yesterday. So if they start Mac Jones, does that change anything? Because Mac Jones was balling out before Brock Purdy came back. He statistically was having the best year of his career. And you
Yeah,
were thinking they might actually bench Purdy for Mac Jones.
listen, man, that might be a it might be a benefit in disguise. You
The
got
way
it.
the season's been going, it wouldn't surprise me if Mac Jones fucking wins the Super Bowl.
So you got the Niners.
Ah, right now, I don't know who's playing, so I'm gonna go with the Eagles. But I'm just saying though, like the way this season's been going, how like it's been so unpredictable, it wouldn't surprise me if like Mac Jones has like a Nick Foles moment as a backup, just comes in and leads his team to the Super Bowl.
I would just say it's gonna be hard for San Francisco to get back at home. I know they think that SoFi is their second home. They don't want to go there.
Well, I mean, the way it's shaped up though, if they beat Philly, they get Seattle again, and
I know,
I could see them beating Seattle.
and not after what I just watched. Not in Seattle.
Not after I would, yeah, but you think Seattle could do that twice?
So, I mean, if they could do that to you on your home field, that might just be who you are. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're going up to one of the toughest stadiums to win and gonna put on some miracle show after you just put up 3 points on national TV. Like
I mean,
I know it's only one game, but I lost all confidence in the 49ers this week. Like I just lost all of it. I don't think they could beat Seattle or Philly right now.
I think they could beat Philly because I mean, what has Philly shown you?
Not much, but I think that Philly can at least score more than 3 points. So if
No,
you
so
go
the problem with Philly though, they could score more than 3 points, but they'll score like 10 points in the first half, and in the second half they'll go scoreless.
Yeah, but their defense is alright though. They got a good corner, they got a good line. I think I
I think this is either gonna be if Philly wins, it's gonna be one of those like 10-7, 13-10 type of games.
put it like this. Their defense and Seattle's defense is kind of built the same. Is all I'm saying. Like I
Yeah, all I'm saying is if the 49ers could score more than 17 points, they
oh, it
win.
could be a problem. Yeah, but I don't know if they could score more than 17 the way they look this week.
Yeah, but this is just 1 week though. I don't think like what happened last night is
Bro,
gonna
listen. If you can't get motivated at home to beat a rival, right? That would have gave you home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. and would have had the Super Bowl in your home stadium, ain't nothing in this playoffs getting you motivated.
So I don't think it was a motivation thing. I think Seattle just punched them in the mouth. They didn't know how to respond.
And I think that's the
I
start of
don't I don't think that would I don't think that would happen again if those 2 teams would meet. Like, I have more trust in Kyle Shanahan to figure something out and to figure out that defense than I do with, Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald's been
You
on
know,
the
Mike McDonald might surprise me, but I just
to
have
end
more
the season. He
I have more
smacked around McVay, he smacked around Shanahan.
yeah,
Yep. That's all I'm saying. You
we'll
might
see,
have to play in that with them this year.
we'll see. Alright,
Yeah.
and then, Green Bay, Chicago.
This is probably the tough one.
See,
I'm
Green
gonna
the reason why I said it wouldn't surprise me if Green Bay wins it is because they're in the same division.
Yeah, and I don't think that these teams are as far apart as those the 7 and the 2 would lead you to believe.
Yeah.
But um, I'm gonna give it to Caleb. Don't stand me wrong. I think Caleb's gonna get his first playoff victory.
Now, this is more of an issue in the AFC, but in the NFC, this is the one game where actually, no, I guess the Rams, Panthers too, because Panthers don't have no experience. But in, Green Bay, Chicago, do you think the experience factor will help Green Bay? 'Cause they've been in the playoffs before, Chicago hasn't.
I don't know. I guess the one thing that you'd have to ask yourself, are you a believer in Jordan Love? And the answer for me would be no. So I'm I think that Caleb's already realized who he is in the NFL, and I don't think that he'll crumble under this pressure. I think Jordan Love has probably more pressure on his shoulders to get the Packers a Super Bowl than Caleb has on his shoulders. I think Caleb goes out there and plays free and whoops their ass.
Well, what's the we gotta check the point spread in this game 'cause that might decide, Matt LaFleur's decision like it was today.
And so like I look at it like this. Micah would have been huge in this game. Um, I just don't. We've said this all year. I don't think the Packers are. I don't think they're as far away from the Bears as the record says. But I also don't believe they're that good of a team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think the Bears are gonna win this game. It just wouldn't surprise me if the Packers pull off the upset because of they're in the same division, so they know each other. But and also too, Ben Johnson. Yeah, he's never been in this situation as a head coach,
Yeah,
as an offensive coordinator, but it's different as a head coach. So I mean,
yeah.
we'll see. The Packers got him the first time. The Bears beat him the second time. So we'll see what happens the third time.
When I say beat the ass, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I just think the Bears out physical the Packers, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right, then on the AFC, we have Houston at Pittsburgh. I think Houston wins this game. Pittsburgh, to me, is the weakest playoff team in the AFC.
Yeah. I have two questions. First thing, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I honestly would like to see Pittsburgh win this game for some reason, but I do believe the Texans win. I want to say this: if Tomlin doesn't win this game, you still believe he ends up leaving Pittsburgh, fired, mutually agreed to leave.
I don't think he'll get fired, but there are rumors that he's wants to take a break and do TV.
Yeah,
So I mean, it could be a situation. He's been there for 19 years. He could be burnt out. I don't know. But the Steelers, their history shows that they don't fire coaches. So
yeah,
I don't think he'll get fired. That'll be them doing something way out of character. But
yeah,
I do think this Pittsburgh team, they're flawed in the way that they keep kicking down the can. And I don't know if that's Tomlin or the GM. But since Ben Roethlisberger has retired, they haven't done anything
yeah.
with the quarterback position. They keep getting all these aging veterans on 1 year deals. And at some point, they're gonna have to draft somebody and develop them.
I 100% agree. You've been touching on that all season. But here goes sneaky Tomlin sneaking in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Good
All
for them.
right. And then we have Buffalo at Jacksonville. This is a game that could go either way. I'm gonna take Jacksonville, but again, it's one of those games where it wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo wins. I do think all the pressure is on them. They're still the favorites to win the AFC, despite them only being the sixth seed. That tells you how other people view them. But I think Jacksonville's going to win this game.
I'm gonna match you. I think Jacksonville. I think Trevor Lawrence wins this in a high scoring shootout. I think that he outdoes Josh Allen in this game, and they get
I
the
don't
win.
think it's be a shooter. I just think Jacksonville's defense is better. They'll shut
Yeah.
Buffalo down.
For some reason, I think this is gonna be the 37-34 game of the week. Like, I just think that this is gonna be that game. I think that both of these quarterbacks are generational. I think they're both gonna put on a show. I don't think these defenses are gonna be able to do much.
I mean, I'm hoping you're right because it'll be an exciting game.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it to be a fun game. At the over, best bet of the week.
Yeah, we'll later on when we figure out what the point spreads are going to be. We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then we
we
have
think
the LA Chargers at the New England Patriots. And again, on paper, the Chargers should win this game because they have the more. I think they have the more talented team on paper.
I'd
They're just
agree.
with the Patriots though. Actually, let me ask you this question because you're in the area. But the Patriots, they've been getting a lot of shit because they're the only team in the playoffs that hasn't beat anybody with the winning record. The only team they beat with the winning record is Buffalo. But
Yeah,
I'm of the mindset though is you just play who's on your schedule. That's not their fault.
yeah, that's fair to say. And I would say living out here, I could tell you that New England fans don't give a rat's ass who is on their schedule. It's about who's in front of you. You beat them, and now it's playoff time. Nobody goes back and talks about like think like this. If I was to tell you to name Tom Brady's schedules during his Super Bowl years, would you know? Would you care? Does
Shit,
anybody
I can't even tell you the Eagles schedule last year.
this what I mean? Does anybody once you win that Super Bowl, nobody remembers if your schedule is easy or hard because to get to the Super Bowl, you got to go through the good teams. So they can hold it on you now, but you go and win the Super Bowl, it goes out the window because you beat all the best teams to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. So now it makes that schedule argument irrelevant. So you can just keep that in the pocket for now. If the Patriots stop beating these teams now, 2 weeks from now, people will forget about that.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm taking New England because A, they're at home, and
Yeah,
then B, even though Harbaugh rested all his players today, that O line for the Chargers, I mean, they're so banged up. I could see them getting after Justin Herbert.
yeah,
And even Justin Herbert himself, he's been playing with a broken hand for the last like 4 or 5 games.
yeah,
Granted, it's his left hand, so it hasn't really affected him. But yeah, but again, I say that the Chargers and the Bills have the most pressure only because of their quarterbacks, but also too they're the two veterans out of the group in the AFC. So
yeah,
there's really no excuse for neither one of these teams to make a deep playoff run.
yeah. And I'll tell you this,
Fortunately, I think
unfortunately,
neither one will make a deep playoff run.
yeah, and I believe unfortunately both of them got bad matchups in round one, and I think they'll both be one and done. As much as I want Herbert to win and go on a good run, they just haven't looked like a team ready. They a couple maybe like 6 weeks ago, they were maybe a little bit different team. It looked like to me. Right now, um, they don't. I don't think they could come to New England and beat the Patriots. I don't really. I give them a slim to no chance to win this game in New England.
I will say this though for the Chargers, if they could beat New England, that's a big if.
Yeah,
They play Denver in the next round, and from what I saw today,
I think they could beat Denver.
The Chargers starters could beat Denver.
Yeah.
Denver struggled against their backups, so just imagine what the starters would do to them.
I think they could beat Denver solely because even if they get stopped 70% of the game, they'll still probably get 27 points.
Yeah,
Oh, you're gonna have 20%.
I mean Justin Herbert's way better than what we saw from Trey Lance today.
Trey Lance don't need to be in the NFL. I think that's what we seen today. It's like,
He was ass with the Niners, ass with the Cowboys, ass with the Chargers.
yeah, but at this point, if you can't even just be a service or backup, there's not really much left for you to do in the NFL besides hold clipboards and steal checks. I mean, I'm not paying you, so I really don't care. But I mean, it is what it is. That's all you're there to do now.
Yeah, I mean, they might have to push him down to QB3, to be honest with you, for him to do that. or 4.
Scout quarterback, just scout QB. That's
Scout QB.
listen, scout running QB. So when you're playing a running quarterback, you just have him go with the practice squad and run some run drills just so you could get
Yeah, I
acclimated in that. That's it. You don't even need to throw.
yeah,
Can't do that. It's like, come on. Jesus, man. He threw like 40 times today for 110 yards, I think.
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. 40 passes, 23 completions, a buck 10.
Like, teams keep giving them chances because they see something. It's like I understand, like, you see the talent, but it's just not correlating on the field.
Yo. Listen, man, I'd give up on that dude if I was them. There's definitely other backups where if your guy goes down, they can at least hold the ship afloat. He can't do that. He's like more like a third, fourth stringer, or he needs to go around like some coach that could like do some magic and turn him into what people think he could be. But he hasn't been around one of them yet, and that's crazy because Shanahan turns quarterbacks into gold. So
Well,
I
the quarterback they took after him in the 7th round
Purdy.
is better than him.
Yeah, and so is it Mac Jones and Dobbs when he played there, and every other quarterback that's been behind center in that
Even
uniform.
Nick Mullins looked better than, what Trey Lance looked.
Yeah, bro. There's been 4 or 5. There was another guy over there. I can't think of his name that played a game or two. Like, bro, they've pulled.
CJ Beathard, I think his name
Yeah,
is.
Bethard. Yeah, they've pulled guys out of the rabbit's hat, and they've played pretty good, right? Trey Lance couldn't get it right over there. Like when it's mainly a running scheme with tight ends that are quarterback friendly and all that good stuff. Debo was there, which was like a glorified running back. You had 4 guys you could throw it to within 3 yards that could give you home runs.
Yeah, but you talked about a coach who could probably get the best out of him. You would think Harbaugh would be that guy, seeing what he did with Kaepernick. It's a similar skill set.
Ah, you would think so, but maybe Harbaugh was in college too long, man. I don't know. And plus, he got Herbert now. How much dedication you think he's really giving this guy? Like you have an
That's true.
all-worldly quarterback. Like you're not even thinking about him. And
That's true.
today was the first time I said, you know what? Let's throw him in. I'm gonna try to help this kid out. Cause you ain't help him at all this shit. I see. So it is what it is, man. But I wouldn't mind if the Chargers won. I think Herbert needs to get the monkeys off his back. They're
Well,
all over him right
I was gonna
now.
say both him and Allen,
Yeah.
honestly.
But
Unfortunately, only one of them can make it as the AFC, but I think the pressure's on those 2 quarterbacks.
yeah, I just think that Allen's proved himself and put them in positions to win in the playoffs.
Yeah, his defense.
Herbert Yeah, like Herbert needs that. Like if you went out and threw 7 touchdowns and your defense gave up like a 60-yard pass for you to lose for a field goal with 1 second left, I know there'll still be some broadcast that would still be on his back, but the true part would be there'd be people to be like, look, he just put them in every position to win in that game, and his defense failed them.
Yeah, the problem with Herbert is he kinda reminds me of, Clayton Kershaw back in the day before,
Yeah,
the Dodgers started winning World Series.
yeah,
Where Clayton Kershaw, he have these great, like, great games in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he turns like a totally different picture. Like, teams are just hitting home runs off of him like it was nothing, and that was like Justin Herbert. Like, in the regular season, yeah, he's great, but in the playoffs,
yeah,
he turns into fucking, like, Dan Orlovsky or something.
yeah.
Like, last year, he threw, like, 5 picks in that playoff game.
Listen, he's done it a few times in the playoffs, and he'll get it. Yeah, I think he might get a chance to defend that. I mean, defend himself against one of those teams if he can make it to see the Jaguars. If it happens, might be able to get his get back, but we'll see how it goes.
That's if both teams make it to the AFC Championship then.
Yeah, that's what I said. If he makes it far enough,
Yeah. Now, for the conspiracy theories out there, based on the Super Bowl logo, it looks like it'll be, Chargers Niners in the Super Bowl. If you're going for the conspiracy with the logo, which people like to do.
yeah, yeah. But by the time it gets close to the Super Bowl, they'll find one with different colors, and that would be the new conspiracy. Sneaky motherfuckers.
The NFL just switch up the colors, like, halfway through the playoffs.
People don't realize there's 10 different variations of these colors that come out throughout the year, and then that last one comes way closer to the Super Bowl. So it's like,
People
all
like,
right,
"See? They're following the script. You can see it in the colors in the logo.
You can see it. Well, I have a funny feeling both of these teams will be kicked out this week, and then they'll be looking for another team that has yellow and another team that has red. So it is what it is. They'll be like, hold on. The Rams got yellow. The Rams got see. It was the Rams. It was the Rams, and then the
Oh,
Texans.
Yeah, Rams and the Texans,
See. You see how they switch
or it might be the Packers and the Patriots.
up. Like, come on, bro. It's like bro, it's so stupid, man. It's more based on the city. So the Super Bowl is in San Francisco. All right, they're gonna lean into the red a little bit or the gold. You know what I'm saying? It's there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, last year though, it was in New Orleans, and the logo was like red and green, which is why everybody thought it was a conspiracy. Like, oh, it's got to be Chiefs Eagles.
Yeah, of course. But
Oh,
it
hey, but you know what? Maybe Seattle or Denver will fuck this whole thing up because none of their colors are in the logo.
we'll see how it goes.
Or
Maybe
the
that.
Bears, maybe.
Maybe we'll see how it goes. They'll finagle it. They'll drop a new variation. Someone will find it. It will go viral. They'll be like, "This is the one it's been all year." You know, I don't I don't get into that stuff. I'm more mad at Vegas kicking field goals with 1 second left.
That's Matt Lafleur.
Mm-mm. He's clearly a gambler, man.
Yeah, the Feds need to do an investigation on him. Did he have money on that game?
Just listen, bro.
Point
God,
spread 13 and a half. He kicks a field goal with 1 second left
the
to go.
floor needs some new tennis shoes.
He spends all his money on jail.
Yeah, or Joe. Flights to Cancun to link with McVay and them. These guys, man. But anything else you want to dive into?
No. Other
I
than the
do.
fact that speaking of leaking with McVay, his brother Mike LaFleur is our OC. He's
Yep,
one of the favorites to get one of these head coaching jobs.
yep,
I see two LaFleurs as a head coach.
yep.
And
It's
it's funny how his boy hires his brother, but not him.
yeah. I don't know if because did you see that rumor that McVay might retire with Stafford?
I did hear that. So if that happens, I feel like either LaFleur or Shula
Yes.
will take over as the head coach. But
Yep.
both of them are up for head coaching jobs for other teams.
Yeah.
They gotta keep at least one of them.
I think that we'll notice which one that the Rams prioritize if they don't prioritize both of them. Because if we don't start hearing them take interviews soon, then I don't think they'll leave. If we start hearing that some of them are taking interview or one's taking an interview, the other isn't. My guess is with Sean McVay saying that he's taught or he's got Shula ready to be a head coach more than anybody that's ever been on his staff the whole time he's coached. The fact that he kind of resembles that McVay swagger, just different color hair. Um, I think McVay wants him to become the coach when he leaves.
But
That'd be my
there's a report that Shula has an interview with the Titans.
guess. But I do believe that he's the guy Sean wanted to be his coach. But it doesn't lead that to
I could see that only because um the history with Mike not Mike Shanahan, with Sean McVay is that like his OCs really don't do much. Like he runs the offense. Now, granted, you do have, Zach Taylor in Cincinnati has become successful as a head coach. Liam Combs now with the Jags. He looks like he's gonna be successful. And then Kevin O'Connell, he's had some success in Minnesota, but for the most part, like you're just OC by title, but it's really Sean McVay running the show.
yeah.
I don't know if because of that, if he does retire, I think that leans more towards Shula than it would for Mike LaFleur.
Yeah, I don't think LaFleur would be ready to be a coach right now, but I think if Shula leaves, LaFleur is going to be the guy McVay starts getting ready the way he was getting Shula ready. I think is be the most likely thing because I feel like he's going to want someone to take over right from under him and try to keep the show going. You know what I mean? So it's got to be more. He's putting more effort into some of these guys. And the one thing I don't want to see as a Rams fan I do not want to see Shula leave and Raheem come back. I did not like his defense. He doesn't know how to stop teams at the end of games. Like he has the ultimate prevent, bend, and always break defense at the end of games. Meaning, if you need,
Honestly, that's part of his problem in Atlanta.
yeah, and that's the thing. He can't like he used to script up great game plan, right? But right when it's 2 minutes left and they need a drive, he goes in this pathetic shell of a prevent defense that gives up 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards. They go right down the field, score a touchdown or a field goal. And he does it at the end of games too. And I didn't understand it because he had the defense to line up and go man with people and just play the same defense. But he used to still always prevent, bend, but always break. Like it's supposed to be bend and don't break. You don't supposed to let them go down the field and score. And that's why I don't trust him as a defensive coordinator. Think he's all right, but if you can't stop teams in the biggest moments, you're not that good to me. So it just is what it is. Like if Shula leaves, I hope McVay don't recycle the old coach. I hope he goes and finds something new.
Well, if Shula leaves, I hope he goes to Tennessee because you're in the AFC. I don't want him to go to the Giants, even though I do think if I'm him, I would rather get the Giants job than the Titans job because there's more
Yeah,
for him to work with it. I mean,
absolutely. If I'm
and
if I'm him, I'm not going to be with Cam Ward. I'm all set.
yeah, for
Mm,
him, New York has the defensive talent for him to work with, and it's up to him to just find a good ass OC to develop Jackson Dart in that offense.
yeah, you got running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, a quarterback that showed you two running backs actually, decent O line, um, on the come up actually.
They
Then
just have to re-sign Wandale Robinson and then find a legit wide receiver too.
yep, and then their D line stacked. I mean, they got pieces in New York. If I was him, I would definitely be looking there. That's would be my destination and want to go. If it's not New York, I wouldn't leave.
Yeah, I agree. Or I mean, maybe I don't. Well, Vegas because Tom Brady has so much influence there. They might just recycle through the old New England coach. But I'll say Vegas too, only because they have the draft capital. They
Well,
have the number one pick this year, and they can get more picks because they're looking to trade Max Crosby. They could at least get maybe a first, maybe two for him.
yeah, and you probably if you wanted to. Um, I mean, you look at Mendoza. You got
Receivers though,
why I'm losing his name right now. The tight end, the stud
Brock
tight end,
Myers.
Bowers. They got the running back. They still don't have a goddamn thing at wide receiver. They need to. They
Get
need.
the receivers, old ass Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. Well, no, he asked for his release. Didn't he get released or didn't? No, he asked for his release. That went there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Hell no. Trey Tuck is okay if you want to, but he's more like a gadget player. But he could do similar stuff to Debo, just not at the same level, But he's similar style play. I do like him, but they have no one, they have no two, and they don't have a three.
no, their best receivers are tight ends, Bowers, and then their second tight end, Michael
Mayes.
Mayer.
Yeah,
He's decent too,
yeah. I
but
think they should
there's
trade.
no
I think they
receivers.
should trade Mayes. They could have probably got some good draft capital for him. That's just my opinion, but I wouldn't go there if I was Shula. I wouldn't go nowhere near there.
Nah, and I'm with you. What you said earlier about Flores, if he's the guy, that might be a disaster waiting to happen, especially with the rookie quarterback.
I was starting to think Tom Brady as an owner might be a disaster. But
Yeah, for a guy that only owns 10%, he's making a lot of decisions there.
yeah, yeah. So which I digress. We'll leave it at that. But you have anything you want to say before we get up out of here, bro?
I was gonna say, I think Mark Davis, because his WNBA team is a dynasty. They won
Yeah,
like 3 championships in a row. He might be so focused on the WNBA side that he just like letting Tom Brady do whatever with the Raiders.
I mean clearly we're gonna run him into the ground. He's
Yeah,
coming.
Mark Davis, he needs a dynasty in football, not just women's basketball.
I thought Tom Brady did enough with that back in the days. The fumble
Couple
pass.
years, yeah.
Yeah, thought he did enough to the Raiders. He's still burying y'all. Like,
Nah,
it's
Mark
crazy.
Davidson, no, that was when my dad owned the team. I had nothing to do with that shit.
I mean, he's burying your dad. He's still burying you. It's crazy. Shout out to the goat, still getting wins.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna get that eighth ring with his decision making.
Yeah, not anytime soon, anyways.
But anyway, you can follow us on you. Make sure you like, subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can follow us at Mob Squad 508 and Expecta underscore Ant on X/Twitter. And you can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And we might be on Podcastle pretty soon. I was looking into that to see if we can get on there.
Yep, and don't forget to send us other things for us to sign up for.
So we'll see. But then I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good. I was just letting the people watching know we on. That's 5 platforms we're on.
Yeah.
Going for six. If there's any ones that you personally listen to on your way to work, whatever the case may be, and we're not on that, let us know. So Ant's the man. We're getting us on, and he'll get us on there to make sure your ride to work goes by smoother with your Mike and Ant in the morning. You know how it go.
Or just listen to us while you're at work. It might just kill some time.
Yeah. Or do that. Yeah. When your boss is talking crazy, just throw the headphones in, man. I got you.
I hold
But
my beer.
yeah, hold my bear. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Before we leave, hold my bear moment of the week. You got one?
Ah, shit. Let me see. I didn't even think of. You know
I
what?
think.
I'm gonna give it to the whole entire Jets defense. Fuck it.
All right. Well,
You to go the whole year without even getting an interception.
it's
First
not.
team in NFL history.
Yeah. It was
Like
either.
I'm all for like letting coaches get more than 1 year. But there was ever a coach that deserves to get fired after 1 year is Aaron Glenn. Because you're supposed to be a defensive guy, and you have one of the worst defenses in NFL history.
How about defensive guy? He was a defensive back
Yeah,
and can't
yeah.
get it. And
You
can't get a goddamn interception.
you
Did
can't
it?
you can't coach these your DBs to get at least one pick.
It's crazy,
Like,
man.
you think you'll at least get lucky and get like a tip ball. They didn't even get that.
Well, I got they definitely they got the hold my bear moment of the season for
Yeah.
sure. No interceptions is absolutely wild. But they also got to hold my bear for the Justin Fields situation. But you know who else got to hold my bear today?
Cool.
George Lynch for drafting that atrocity that suited up
Oh,
for
you
the
mean John
Chargers. Excuse me. John Lynch. Yeah, the GM for the 49ers. That see how you know it's getting late. But he's gonna get a hold my bear moment for drafting Trey Lance after giving up, I mean, backpacks worth of picks. Only for Shanahan to show him Mac Jones was the guy. And you didn't need to do all this.
And you know what? The only reason why he even still has the job is because who he took in the seventh round. Brock Purdy saved his ass.
I thought it was because he holds bears. I thought maybe that the owners come by and he holds the bears for them. I mean,
It could be that too. They just like him.
he's the hold my bear king.
Oh,
Outside.
another hold my beer is Sauce Gardner.
Oh my God. His tweet.
He became the first player in NFL history to have two losing seasons with two different teams. So when he's with the Jets, they were 1-7. Since coming to the Colts, they've been 1-8.
Hold my bear. Hold my bear.
Maybe Sauce Gardner's the problem.
Just maybe he's on too much sauce.
All
But but we'll see y'all again next time.
right, peace.